Come along on a little tour of the garden with me. We'll talk about overwhelm while homesteading. Back in May, we had this garden completely tilled. It was all grasses like this and clods of dirt. There was no way we could have maneuvered that by hand. We hired a neighbor to spread manure and another neighbor to till everything in. And this is what we've got now. I had grand dreams of filling this and having the start of a possible market garden. Some things have shifted. I have cabbage and tomatoes and pigweed and lamb's quarters and ragweed, all kinds of things. I have some lovely tomato plants. Not doing so great because I haven't been out here tending to them. They probably need some fertilizer. I have Brussels sprouts and more weeds. I have pepper plants, but look at the weeds are bigger than the peppers. We have some blossoms. And we have some bugs. And this bed never got planted. This is my pride of the garden so far this year. This is our potato patch, and they're coming to blossom. They'll be ready to harvest once those blossoms die off and the leaves start to die back. Not long now, but just look at those weeds. Can you see the haze in the air today? That would usually be crisp and clear instead of hazy and gray. It almost looks like fog. It's actually forest fire smoke, and I'm starting to have trouble breathing. Let's go in the house. Maybe you just have too many plates spinning and you need to stop something. You know, it's okay to say, we tried. We tried goats and it just wasn't working for us. Or we tried geese and it just wasn't working for us. We tried a massive, massive garden and it just was too much for us this year. It doesn't mean we won't try again. It doesn't mean that we're failures. It just means that at this season in our life, that is a little bit too much. I've run into some health issues, breathing issues with the smoke, and some heart issues or undiagnosed health issues that we don't know what they are yet. The heat is really, really hitting me hard, so I have to be out there before 10 o'clock in the morning and get done what I can. It's just too much. For years, I've used the theory behind the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to change the things I can, to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is huge when it comes to overwhelm, and it's huge to dealing with other people and sometimes your work or just different situations. It's not just for alcoholics. It is a way to live. So here's how I apply it to my sense of overwhelm. Step one is assess. Assess what you have accomplished and assess what you haven't accomplished or that you're struggling with. You should be able to draw confidence and self-reward from the things you've accomplished. I did it. I got that done. I got that done. I got that done. Tick, 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 tick. That's amazing. Now, on the other hand, the things you haven't gotten done. You have to be able to look at these things and change the things you can or complete the things you can. Step two is accept those things that you can't complete, you can't change, you can't do. Accept that. And maybe that's not this time. Maybe that's something that has to wait for 2 weeks. Maybe that's something that can wait for a month. That is about shifting your priorities, looking at your priorities, assessing your priorities, and seeing what can go completely gone or what can just wait. Just wait. That's part of step 4, which is the wisdom to know the difference. So assess, change the things you can, accept the things you cannot change. I can't put up 4 fingers. And the wisdom to know the difference. After that, you have to forgive yourself. Forgive those who haven't completed tasks that you asked them to do. Forgive yourself for the expectations. Forgive the weather for what it's doing. Forgiveness is giving yourself grace. It's giving yourself, okay, I couldn't do that right now, but I did what I could. And knowing that you've done what you could you don't want to be sick. You don't want to come down with something. I'm feeling heart symptoms and we're having forest fires, and the smoke situation is making it so my asthma is acting up. I can't be out there right now. And my gardens, oh, I showed you a picture. They're just going to have to wait. The plants are still going to grow, maybe not as thorough as vigorously as they were before, but they're still going to grow. My potatoes are almost ready. We're good. So at that point, you come to step 5, which is to scale back. Just step 5 was forgive yourself. Step 6 is to scale back and go, I don't need 150 head, or I don't need 150 chickens. I don't need 150 potato plants. I'll get by with half of that, or whatever. Maybe it's time to harvest some of your chickens. Maybe it's time to sell some of your goats, or your whatever it is. Maybe it's time to say, I need to scale back. This, we've gotten over our heads in that. We've gotten in over our heads with this. And go, and allow that. Forgive yourself for that misjudgment, or for the current inability, or maybe it's something that's going to be long term, and don't beat yourself up about it. That comes back to step 5, which was forgive. So now step 7 is prioritize what is going to work for you. What is it you really, really want to do out of those things? What is top on that list of things that need to get done? Is there a building that needs to be repaired, or is there fencing that needs to be done? Is there like an animal that's going to give birth very soon? You got to prepare for that. Is it time to butcher your chickens? Whatever it is, prioritize that. Make that, okay, let's get ready for XYZ, this particular event. And something else is going to have to slide. Maybe the garden won't get weeded. Losing a plant is not as serious as losing a livestock, or losing someone in your family. You've got to prioritize properly. But we're all the way down to number 8, and that is take a break. Take a break, even if it's just one afternoon away from the homestead. You go to the beach with your kids, or you go to the mall and go shopping, or whatever, go into town and have a dinner out. Whatever it is that you need to refresh your brain and come back fresh. And then tomorrow morning, when you get back up, you go at it again. You start with a little bit of a reprieve. That ties into number 9. Maybe you have to hire help. Maybe you can't do it all by yourself. We hired someone to come in and spread manure on the field for us. We hired someone to come in and plow the field for us. And we hired someone to do a bathroom renovation for us, because they were over our abilities, or our equipment, or our, they just weren't available for us. We weren't capable of doing it all by ourselves. And that's okay. We need community. We've also called in my sons, who helped me build a beautiful herb garden. We called in my daughter, who helped me weed some. And we ended up taking the lawnmower to the garden area that hadn't been planted yet. But that's fine. It was over our head. We accepted the change. And now it's just getting a lawnmower over it to keep it from going to seed. Then we had another son come in, who helped us build a chicken coop, a mini quarantine coop that I'm working on. It didn't get finished, but it's far enough along that I can finish it myself, if I can get outside. So hire help if you can. In Ontario, high school students have to get a certain number of volunteer hours. You might be able to make that arrangement with somebody. And you might have to work beside them while they're doing it, but get 3 kids to come out together. That's going to give you all those extra hands. And even if it's only 2 hours of extra work, multiply that by 3, plus yous being there, that's 8 hours of work getting done in 2. So there are ways to do it. And then again, sit back again and review your successes. You need to have success. You need to have, okay, we got that field plowed. We got the potatoes planted. All my plant starts went in. I did struggle with germination, and I still am struggling with germination. I probably planted 200 bean seeds, and I might have 40 plants. But assess. I finally have lettuce. It took forever. It's the 1st of July before we've got lettuce going, ready to eat. That should have been ready long ago. We had a really late frost. That's beyond my control. That's a thing that I could not change. And now we have the smoke, and that's preventing me from getting out there. That's another thing I cannot change. So then it comes down to the final one, number 10, think and approach differently. So you've forgiven yourself, you've forgiven the weather situation or whatever's going on that's been keeping you from getting these things done. You've taken a break, you've changed your priorities, you've accepted the things you cannot change, and now you just think differently. So I can't do that huge garden down there. I'm just going to have to let the weeds grow and run the mower over the parts that are growing nothing. I may not get carrots this year, so I'll have to buy carrots at the grocery store. I have roosters coming up to slaughter very soon. So, well, I'm going to have to schedule that really carefully, figure out what I need ahead of time. I'm going to bit and piece and be prepared by having all of my equipment gathered and all of my systems in my mind set up or written down on paper set up, so that when the day comes, I can set up my tables, go through, and then start. I might even set up the night before and bring out just the last few things at the end and then work through it. I'm only doing 3. This is my first time ever doing harvesting my own chickens. I'm going to do 3. And then a week or 2 later, I'm going to do 4 more. But that allows me to go through the process twice, so I can assess what went well and what didn't go well, and shift things. And then following year, I'll do it again and see how that goes. I'm so excited about these roosters. Some people are a little squeamish about, oh, I can't do that. How can you do that? Oh, that's so gross. I worked in a butcher department in a grocery store for 2 years. So during that time, I handled a lot of raw meat, and I didn't handle guts or cleaning things, but I did learn a lot, and I did handle a lot and got used to the smells and all of that while I was doing that job. So I got this. What are my priorities for the rest of this summer? Roosters. Weeding when I can. Maybe not perfect, but I'm doing what I can. And that's it. And that's it. Chickens and gardens. That's all I'm doing this year. There might be 4 or 5 days where I'm not doing anything because my health won't allow me, but I'm doing what I can. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and be kind to yourself. See you next time.